I've got to say, when a client comes in with long hair and says to me, do whatever you think, I love it. It's a real opportunity. I've got a blank canvas to do whatever I want. Now, your first instinct should not be, right, I'm going to do a skin fade on this fella, or a fade. He's got a great head of hair, so let's do something with it. I'm going to wet it all down first, and I'll start out by scissor cutting it. I'm going to remove the bulk. Removing the bulk is your first step, but I'm taking probably about half of the length off, and I'm still leaving quite a lot of hair. There's enough hair at this stage to still cover his ear, although I don't want it to be completely covering his ear. This client actually came to the door and asked for an appointment. Now, I was full, but I looked at his hair and I thought that's a YouTube video, and I persuaded him to take a later appointment, and he was happy enough to do a video for us. So I'm very grateful to this guy for letting me film. So I'm debulking, that's what I'm doing, and I'm working in a horseshoe fashion all the way around the head. You can see that I have separated the top out and I've swept it over, and I'm working, you can see from the temple, I've worked all the way around to the occipital bone. Here's a little trick for you. I didn't section with clips, I swept all the hair over, and as I worked my way around to the other side, all I'm going to do is just sweep it back over. If you're wondering why I'm working so quick, now you can see I'm working quickly, but what I'm doing is, as I'm working, I can see the short hair that is from my previous section when I pick up my next one. So I'm always sliding the fingers out and I cut to that length. Whenever I work round, I can see those short hairs. They're always visible to me through my section. Most of the time you can see it close to my the inside knuckle. This is very therapeutic work. I've got to say, I do enjoy scissor cutting. I'd love to see, I know it's strange, but hair falling away, and it's the molding of a haircut. You know, you're starting to create a shape and do something with it. I know it doesn't look much now, but it's going to. So keep your eyes peeled. Let's continue. The comb I'm using, by the way, that's a YS Park comb. They're quite good. They've got like a little hook on the end of them, so they're very useful. Now we're on to a refining part of the haircut, and we're going to do a scissor over comb without tension. That's the technical term for it, but a picture speaks 1,000 words, so I'm going to show you. One thing I will say is, if you're going to do this, you need to be able to flip your comb just like this. So the scissor goes in, it picks the hair up, the comb, you flip it, comb, and put it underneath your section. Holding it in the comb, you can cut with the scissor. You can really shape a haircut in this way. There's no tension, I'm not pulling the hair, I'm letting the hair just sit naturally, and I pick it up and cut to the form of the head and the way that the hair wants to lie. I'd encourage anyone who wants to get into barbering to really try and master this technique. It's a brilliant technique. You can use it in various places in the head, and for me, it's a must for a skilled barber to be able to do this. So this long hair at the bottom, when I did my horseshoe section, you can see there's a lot more coming off because I didn't go down that far with the horseshoe. That's fine, it's because I knew that I was going to cut it with this technique, this scissor over comb. And the great thing is, because I used my horseshoe section higher up, it means that there's not hair lying over this hair at the bottom, and that makes it easier for me to cut. So natural. Let me know, by the way, how you're getting on with your barbering. Tell me what level you're at with the barbering. It's interesting to know who's watching the channel. If you're new to it, I do have a barbering course on Udemy, which is a 3-hour course taking you through the basics, and it's very, structured, but it'll tell you how to hold the scissors and the comb, how to section hair, and there's 4 haircuts that you can go through on that course as well. There is also some free lessons available with the course. I mean, you don't even need to sign up, and you can see the free lessons if that's all you want to see. But head over to Udemy. I'll leave a link down below, and you'll be able to find that course there if you want to learn more about barbering from me. On the ear, out of habit, I always make sure that I leave my comb just resting on the top of the ear. That means I have plastic in between the scissor blade and the ear. It's just like a little barrier, it keeps the ear safe. Always try and cut safely. When I was a young barber learning, I accidentally cut someone's ear, and I was shocked at the blood that came out. Ears do bleed. And I think from that moment, I mean, I'm going back 20 years now, I've always been very, very cautious and developed ways to keep the ear safe. And one of them is just by putting a barrier in between. So on the top, I feel like I'm going down like a Johnny Depp route here. I want to have kind of long curtains, maybe Johnny Depp in the 90s. And so what I'm doing is I'm pulling all the hair from the middle of the top of the head, and I'm dragging it out and angling my fingers straight up. So the hair from the middle of the head is longer than the hair at the side. Now, as I get to the front, here's a word for you: over direction. I'm going to over direct the hair back a little bit as I work my way towards the front. If you want to understand over direction, by the way, I have a video on that also, and I will leave a link in the description for my over direction video. It's very simple. I explain it with pipe cleaners on a model head, just so you understand. This is probably what you would call a compound over direction, but anyway, over direction. That's a good thing to learn. On the other side, the same thing. I'm going to match up, drag the hair out, and pull it out from the top of the head so that it's longer in the middle. Now, you don't necessarily want it to be mega long. I'm going to do something in a minute just in the middle, just so that I'm not left with a heavy line on the sides. You see, what can happen is when I release that, it'll all lie flat. And because it's slightly longer, the top's able to reach out further, then it could form a line on the sides. So I'm going to show you a way to get rid of that. What we're going to do is just pick the hair up in the middle. Okay, so let's comb it all over, and this will make it easy for me to pick up. So I'll pick it up, and what I'm going to do is just take probably about half an inch or an inch from the top. That means that the point, the very long hair in the middle is just brought down. It kind of layers it, layering. So that hair won't lie at the same level when it falls to the side as the hair on the side. So this is just what's going to stop me getting heavy weight lines on the side. Just double check I'm connected okay between the top and the sides. This is just me just checking. I'm not really taking very much off. There's just a little corner between the top and the sides. Now we need to make sure that at the front there isn't any long point. So I'm going to just pull down, and I'm going to take, I can see that this is what happens when you compound over direct or over direct. You can be left with a point. So if his hair was all to fall forward, you're going to be left with this really long point bang in the middle. That's fine, he's not wearing his hair like that, but I'm just gonna comb it all back now and we'll see. Now, here's a mistake. I wish I didn't do this afterwards actually. I often reach for salt spray when I'm working on long hair because it's a lighter product. But let me tell you, this client didn't need it. I put the salt spray in and then I blow dry for lift. I recommend that. I want this hair to have bounce, you know, like once it's styled, I'm gonna dry it up the way and into the middle, but then once I brush it back, it's gonna collapse to the side. That's the idea. The salt spray though, left it for me just a little bit too heavy. I mean, the client liked his hair and I thought it was good, but for me, a little bit too much weight from the product. Never mind, you live and learn. Sometimes when you're working on a new client, you only learn these things just on the first haircut. I'm just going around with a little trimmer now. I don't really want to decimate this hair at the back, so I'm just gonna take the neck hair off. I went around the ear, I just took the hair that was just touching the ear and I'm going around and removing just all the little stragglers. That hair around at the nape. Don't go in too high, you know, I'm going in with a comb, I'm just lifting out to see if there's any long hairs. But look how natural I'm keeping it. I don't want anything to look unnatural there with this type of haircut. It almost looks like it's not been cut. It's been tidied. That's a good way to put it. Tidied rather than a fresh haircut look. So carry on tidying all the way around. And I've decided that it's not dry enough either. So look, when you dry the hair, get it really dry, and then just dry it even for a further minute as well. Here's my finished cut. You know, I said I thought I would go for that kind of Johnny Depp kind of look. It'll tumble to the side. I'm quite happy with it. When you think about what he came in with to what we've got now, the finished look is quite good. I like it. It suits him with his glasses, and the client was very happy with it as well. It was his first time coming into the shop and I was pleased to produce this. Please, if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button, and you can also find me on Instagram at the 1 Minute Barber. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun with your haircutting. I'll see you in my next video.